you got going aside. Pen guys are here. Welcome to FP Geeks. Here's the group: Eric, Dan, and Steve.
This is Pen Geeks podcast episode number 79 for Monday, July 15th, 2013. We are streaming to you live on Saturday, July 13th. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, geeks the world over, pets everywhere, other people that may or may not be around. Thank you for joining us today and welcome to another pennerific episode of Fountain Pen Television. My name is Steven.
My name is Azizah. That's it. It's just us.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good. That's just... It actually says that in your passport. Azizah, that's it?
No, my passport's very long, so I'll spare everybody the extremely long name. I picked the word pennerific.
You picked the word pennerific. I was not involved. Can you explain why?
It's going to be pennerific because last time it was inkerific or incredible. And this time it's going to be pennerific.
Pennerific.
Because I don't want to be biased towards inks.
Even though you are.
Even though I am.
Officially.
A little bit. I am an incarnate, so I am a teeny bit biased towards inks.
But then again, you couldn't really use inks without a pen, so I suppose we should also have a look at the pen side of things. All right. Just a little warning. Should I be squinting? We got a comment that I was a little bit dark, and usually I am a little bit dark, but I have a little light there now, which shines straight into my eyes. So if I look like this a bit once in a while, then you know why. It's not the sun or something. It's just extra light, because I want to emphasize my physique. Like that. Okay, now there we go. Having said that, I think we can move on. Did we have anything?
Well, how are you?
Oh, I am fine, thank you. It's interesting weather here today. It was quite hot. Well, quite hot for Dutch terms, because I immediately know that it's going to be way hotter where you are. It is nice and sunny, and that is why I've been dragging and transporting beds. My grandmother moved to a home for the elderly, and a lot of stuff had to be cleared from her old apartment, so I was disassembling and reassembling beds pretty much all day, which is a lot of fun, and which is why I am dripping with sweat and looking disheveled and even weirder than usual. What about you? Have you been dragging, disassembling, and assembling beds all day? Have you been doing something else?
Well, I have mostly been dragging cat corpses around, mostly Tycho.
Corpses.
Well, I say corpse because he just lies around like a corpse. And if you follow me on Twitter, you probably saw the morning cat picture I posted of him, where he just lies there like a half-dead animal. And speaking of half-dead animals, I have to ask, on Thursday, during the recording of Ask the Professor, Lord Windermere took a small tumble.
Correct.
And, how is he doing?
Well, the good thing is during these recordings we always have a couple of paramedics standing around. It's all very professional setup. And so immediately, it was the end of the show, so immediately afterwards we could have him checked out. Unfortunately, he has a minor concussion. It's nothing too serious, but he has a minor concussion, and he just has to stay in a dark room. And one of the interesting things is that he keeps asking for chicken salad. Apparently there is something, he knows he likes salad, but instead of the usual crab salad, he's just moved on to chicken salad. And I think that's going to get better once he actually has, completely recovered from his concussion.
That's so sad.
Yes, it's particularly weird because we're so used to crab salad and that kind of stuff, and now chicken salad, mate, could I get some? So he's a little bit, it's a little sad.
What a dear. Well, I'm glad that he'll be okay, though.
Yeah, so be I. I mean, the good thing of not having a whole lot of brains is that even if they move around a bit, it's not too much damage to be done. So
right. It gets a little addled in there, and that's okay.
Yeah. That's
okay.
all right.
Well, thank you for the update. I'm glad that he's okay.
Yes.
Relatively okay, anyway.
And the professor sends his regards, by the way.
Oh, that's surprising. I didn't realize he even knew I existed.
No, he was particularly glad about the last episode. I think we'll talk about that a bit later, but I just wanted to say that. All right.
Yes. Well, guess what's going on right now?
Yes, what is going on right now? Would there be any chance a pen show going on right now?
Yes, and I am not at the pen show, spending all my money.
It doesn't look like it, no. Unless there are two of you.
There are not two of me, and if there were two of me, it would still suck because I would not be the person at the pen show. So
correct, good answer.
So it is in Miami. We have mentioned it before, but if you weren't paying attention or if you are new to the show, it is going on right now. Yes, because it is 10 a.m. there already. So 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. there is a calligraphy class with Deborah Basil, which you should attend because it's supposed to be really awesome from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. And then tomorrow it's also going from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And you can get in for like $10 or $15 for 2 days, which is, not too bad where you can just go and fondle pens and ink and smell ink and smear ink all over your
Or
face.
taste it.
Or
Okay,
no.
I'm just going to interrupt you there before you go off into some ink smearing frenzy. What about the Deborah Basil workshop? Is that included in the price, the admittance, or do you actually have to?
It is $25 additional, but you get materials, and apparently they're really good, and it's a fairly small class setting, so I don't think it's going to be like 500 bajillion people. So you will get some.
Bajillion?
Did
you make that up on the spot? There are not even 5 bajillion people in the world. How could it all be at a pen show? Well, anyway, okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Quiet you. It's they're supposed to be really good from what I've heard from other people who've attended. So you get your materials and all that stuff. So I mean, $25 is really not that bad.
Correct.
Given how much we spend on pens.
Yeah, then it's just peanuts.
Exactly.
Peanuts.
Exactly.
Anyone going there, anyone having fun there, please let us know, because we as geeks would like to know how much fun you're having and how.
Yeah, tag us in your pictures on Twitter and stuff so we can see them.
Absolutely.
FP Geeks. That would be wonderful. And if you're there, I hate you. Just saying.
Well, we'll pass on your hatred to other people.
Yes. Lovely.
Oh, there was Professor coming out there, sorry. I think we covered a lot of inks last time, but I think one of our viewers said that we did not mention one particular color class. Is that correct?
That is, we did miss. I mean, I don't know how we missed this one. Blue black.
Because it was glaringly obvious, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't think of it personally because I don't use it very often, and I don't have very many blue blacks myself.
So it's blue black.
Yeah, blue black, and I actually have one that I really like, so I could have answered. Do you want me to go first?
Yes, you go first.
Okay.
Well, go first. It's just a general etiquette thing.
Yeah, but yeah, that's true. All right, I'll go first. Okay. This is not going to be surprising to anybody. It is an Iroshizuku ink, Shinkai.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know. It's one of their new ones. I don't have very many blue blacks, and I just really like it. I like the bottle, but it shades really nicely, which is really awesome. So that's all I got. But I don't use blue black very often, so that's it. It just does the job. Blue black is just
it's an ink.
Yeah, blue black is just so blue black.
Yeah, that's a big surprise every time I use blue black. It's so blue black. Did you taste this ink? That's what we want to know.
It doesn't taste like much.
Not much. Okay.
No, it's not very spectacular.
Well, my blue black. I'm the same. I mean, I know there are people who use blue black almost exclusively. Yeah, smell it.
Smells like.
It
smells kind of like baby powder and a bit of like baby baby shampoo.
Tell me one thing though about baby powder. I don't want to go on this too far, but I mean, if olive oil contains olives.
No, baby powder does not contain babies.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
Okay, my blue black. I don't use a whole lot of blue blacks either. It's just not. It's just not my color, I suppose. Even though the few I have do have really nice shading, so I should, as I like shading inks, I should be enjoying them. But for some reason, it's just the specific color palette that doesn't really do much for me. If I were to choose one right now, I would choose Conway Stewart Tavy, which is a relabeled Diamine ink, and I believe that is Diamine Denim. And I believe, because I always forget these things, Tavy is an ink that I have in a pen right now, just because I was thinking about blue blacks, and I was again pleasantly surprised by the color. So maybe I will be using more blue blacks now, but that would be my ink choice. well-behaved, nice shading, good ink. I do
Interesting.
not know what it tastes like. I know you're going to ask that. I do not know. I have not tried. I do not know what it smells like. I have not smelled it. So you just have to figure that out yourself.
Well, I I think you need to you need to taste it and just tell me.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have it here within arm's reach, so I cannot just do that. I'll
Okay, you can do
inform
it
you on
after.
that. All right, all right, all right. I'll inform you next week.
Excellent, excellent. We will report back on the taste of Conway Stewart Pavey.
Yep.
Excellent. Thank you. See, it's so important. We cover such epic grounds. That's it.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so that was our blue-black, and we didn't have any other colors that we wanted to cover.
No, but if you think we've missed anything, then let us know, because then we'll cover that too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially if we have something that
Tasty
yeah.
in that range.
Oh yes,
I'll
definitely.
let you know.
Definitely. That would be excellent. So do
Have you actually ever made a marinade of ink? Would you sort of
What do you
marinate?
think I am? Some kind of crazy person? I have standards. I wouldn't waste my ink to make a marinade.
Okay, good answer.
Jeez.
I'll take that.
Yeah. God. What is this? Moving on to the main topic. One of the main topics, maybe. I don't know if it's actually the main topic. So
Well, it is a topic.
It is a topic, and it's about pens, hence the penorific right?
Take it away.
Well, it's supposed to be the great pen selecting show. And what the heck
Exactly.
is this? Like what is this? So, we want to discuss a bit and examine how one picks their next pen for purchase. Like what factors do you
Yes.
consider? What kind of emotional turmoil do you go through and crisis do you experience? Or is that just me?
No, I always discuss it with my therapist whenever I'm in a mood to
Are you not your own therapist?
psychologist heal thyself. Yeah, it's difficult. It doesn't really work that way, but it's well, I mean, of course I can help myself. The No, it's very interesting because it may sound like a silly topic, and I think it's actually a very interesting thing because once you start to think about your collection and think about why you got a specific pen, usually there's an interesting thought process to follow and analyze there. Now, we're not going to get all scientific on this, but I think there's a couple of things that we can actually get into. So, the first thing we have on our list is budget.
Yes, that is very important because you can only sell so many parts of your organs and stuff.
Parts of your, yeah, that's
Well,
yeah,
your liver regenerates, right? You can sell a couple parts a
correct.
few times.
You could, yeah, that's correct.
So
You could,
you only need a few lobes of your lungs. You don't need all of them. So just,
you have a lot of experience with this, don't you?
I'm just saying, that's
Yeah.
why I'm coughing, because I don't have enough lobes left.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah, explains a lot.
But budget is
yes.
important.
Do you set aside a pen budget? Because some people do that.
No. I should, but I am kind of like I should have a fixed budget, but I'm very impulsive and pen passionate, especially if there is a really good sale or a limited edition, or if there is a limited edition on a really good sale. I will sacrifice food and everything else to get that sale. So
basically, if it has a nib, then you want it.
that is not entirely completely true,
But close.
but close.
Well, anyway, okay, yeah, it's good. Now, it's interesting because I don't really have a pen budget either, and of course you would be smart to have something like that. But let me ask you another question. I don't know whether we ever I can't speak anymore, so it's been a long day dragging beds. Did the I'm not sure whether we ever covered this, but do you think it makes a whole lot of difference whether you're using a, say, $20 pen and a $200 pen? Is there a really big difference in the way the pen feels? I'm not thinking about any specific pens, but in general, do you think expensive pens are really, really worth their money, or not? It will vary per pen, I understand that, but in general, what would you
I
say?
think in the range of that particular range, not necessarily.
What range would it start to do that?
No, not in modern pens. I think when you start looking at
Mhm.
vintage compared to modern, maybe because you have a lot more variety. But I only buy vintage flex. I don't buy regular vintage, if that makes sense.
Regular vintage is not good enough for you.
I don't buy regular nibs in vintage.
Right.
I only buy flex nibs in vintage.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, of course, they're collectors of all types of models, but I think a lot of vintage pens are known for their nice, flexy 14K nibs, right? So that's
Right, I just figure
I
if I
can
have
see
a
that.
limited budget and I have so many modern pens with functional nibs, I might as well get a unique nib that I cannot get on a modern pen.
Yeah, that makes
So,
sense. That makes sense. And I still think the amount of good modern flex nibs is not extremely high, right? There are some options, but they just do not. I recently got that maybe Todd Blackbird from someone that I had to look at, um, and that is just that's just crazy. You apply a little bit of pressure and you got a line of, I don't know, 2 millimeters or something.
mhm.
It's just crazy, and you cannot compare that feel to a modern, say, an Ahab. I understand that is a less expensive pen, but that the difference is definitely marked.
Right.
Very interesting. Okay, good. So we have sort of covered budget, I suppose. What about your current collection? Would that influence the way you select pens?
Absolutely, because when I first started, I would buy um, just about any pen that was pretty and if I that I could afford. And it varied. It depended on what caught my eye at the time. Sometimes it was inexpensive, sometimes it was not inexpensive. And and about a year later I was like, "Oh, I need to stop buying every pen I fancy." So, but it's good though because that is the collecting phase. And if you can afford to go through the collecting phase, it is good because you really learn how to focus your hoarding habit of
And
sorts.
and there's always options to try and get something pre-owned
Of course.
that can save some money.
Of course.
I fully agree though. It's a very good strategy because I did the exact same thing. When I went through the exact same phase you suffer from shiny kit syndrome and everything that looks shiny and sparkly glow, you want to have that.
Mhm.
Um, but at some point you just start to realize that someone stepped on the dog. Um, actually she's just being fed, so that's what happens. Um, the you get to try out a lot of different pens and a lot of different brands. She can open the door if you saw that in the background.
I was wondering what she
Um,
was doing.
uh, so you get to try out a lot of different brands. Maybe not a lot. I mean, not dozens, but you try different brands, maybe different nib types or something that can really give you a feel of what you like. And I think it's good, especially as a beginner, to just buy a $20 pen if you can spend the money. Just give it a shot, and that's a very good way to find out what exactly you like and what is good for you.
I mean, it's great if you could also sell your pens that you don't have any interest in after. If you just find that pen doesn't work for you, nothing wrong with selling off pens too.
No, a
You know,
friend of mine does
fund
that.
your next purchase.
He 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 really does that. He gets a pen, tries it out, doesn't like it, sells it off again, and that's but definitely one way to get a lot of stuff in your rotation,
Mhm.
and just figure it out. Especially because he's interested in vintage pens. Um, I mean, you cannot just go to a shop and buy them, so it's usually eBay
Right.
stuff and they're returning. And some sellers, not all of them, but some sellers are really flexible in that and really want to please you and get you the right pen.
Mhm.
And they will just accept it if you send it back and will refund your money. Maybe pick something else from them. So I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. It's a good way to try out some
Or
stuff.
you could just be really good friends with someone who has a lot of pens. That's the best. And you can
I
be like,
have all the
hey,
friends I need. No, it's
you could just be like, can I
it's
borrow your pen? And then just
well,
stab
that's
them
very
with it and
good.
then run away and steal all their pens.
Yeah,
no?
I wasn't actually thinking of that, but I was just I was just going to say that not last week, the week before that, I had a German, a fellow pen geek here. He was on holiday in the Netherlands, and he just had dinner here. And then I think I put about 200 pens on the table and said, "Well, here's a bottle of ink. Dip 'em, try 'em, see what you like." Now, before everyone wants to drop by, that is by appointment only. Okay, having said that, I mean, this was really cool because he could try out some pens. Some of them were a bit more expensive, some of them were a bit less expensive, but he could try out pens that he was interested in. He wanted to try an M1000, he wanted to try the Platinum Music Nib, and that Music Nib, he grabbed that and he immediately said, "Oh, wow." And I just saw that go into a mental note thinking, when I get home, I'm going to purchase this pen. And that's beautiful. I did it on a pen show where I sat down with a friend, um, also from Germany, but another friend, and I just used his pens, and I just had a list of about 4 or 5 pens at the end of the day. And I thought these, at some, not straight away, but at some point I'm going to purchase these because I really love the way they write. So that's a great way. It's social, it's nice to interact with people who enjoy a hobby. Maybe check out whether there's a pen club nearby where you live or something, and just do this. I think it's a great idea.
Excellent. Or you could start a pen club.
Or you could start a pen club.
Yeah, that's cool. And then you can steal their pens. Or you could trade. I mean, you can always trade pens. You don't have to buy. Trading is an option.
Yeah, that's a good option. I hear that at some
Just be careful. Exercise caution with who you trade with. Just
exactly, but I think if you're all the same pen club, I do know that some trading goes on there occasionally, and that's it's mutually beneficial, and you know the person, so it's a great way.
Oh yeah, trading in person is awesome. I just meant trading online is
that's always
a little different,
dodgy.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that is an excellent way to change your collection without having to, spend any money for either
Absolutely.
person. So
Yeah, it's cool.
yeah, I like that one.
All right. What else have we got? Do you save up for a particular pen?
Well,
I guess we sort of covered that.
sometimes I am right now because I want to be, because I'm on hiatus, I want to be 100% sure I am passionately in love with this pen before I buy it.
Oh,
So
that's good.
I'm still saving. I think I have enough for it now, and I still haven't bought it yet because I'm now nervous to buy it because there's so much pressure for myself on the pen. The poor pen, it doesn't deserve it.
Now, at some point, you just get to that level where you shouldn't wait too long, because then you start to find things that you don't like, which is actually a good strategy in its own regard if you want to save money. But
Yeah.
at some point, you have to pull the trigger.
I don't really know if I want to save money. I just don't. Yeah. I don't really know. I just get it because that's what's happening.
Are we allowed to know which pen we're talking about?
Oh yeah, it is the Pelican M400 White Tortoise, and it's no longer made. But I want a stub nib, so I was gonna get it from nibs.com.
Well, I mean, for half the money you're going to spend, you can just buy a normal Pelican. And for half the money you're going to spend on the thing, I can just paint one white for you.
Yeah, that's really not that tempting of an option.
Well, okay.
Not that I've seen your artistic skills; they're amazing.
You're correct there. Yeah, you're correct.
They're very, very wonderful. But
yeah,
that is what I've never saved for a pen before. Usually, I just kind of buy a pen if I really want it. But this one, I was holding on to it after the hiatus. I was like, okay, this is one I think I want, and I was just waiting and waiting, and now I'm ready to get it, and I just haven't yet because I think I just freaked myself out. So that's where I am. That's why I haven't broken my hiatus. The one that Eric challenged me to like 3 months ago. He broke my brain. Okay.
But it's kind of interesting though. He challenges you to do something horrible, then he goes to Mexico. We never see him again. I mean, what kind of? I mean, if he would like to torture you,
he sells all his pens. What?
It's weird.
Yeah.
This is weird. By the way, just an update. Eric is going to be back when he's here. So just so you know, we have no further information at this point.
Yeah, and that's the date he's planning to be back.
Yeah, exactly. It's there's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have a list of pens you want?
Well, I
pen
want
wish
that
list?
one.
Yeah, obviously.
And I really like that Visconti crystal that you've got, the mosquito
Yeah,
filler, because I
nice.
really like demonstrators and I'm a sucker. So,
That pen's a sucker too. It has that vacuum
yeah,
power fill mechanism, so that's pretty cool.
right. And it has a stub nib, which I
So,
also really like. Or it's available with
yeah,
a stub.
it's
So,
it's interesting that what they call a stub, I think, is actually in italic because it doesn't seem to have any tipping. It's just a, it's first of all, it's somewhat Waverly-ish to the extent that it's bent upwards a bit,
right.
and as far as I know, that's called Waverly. And then there is the fact that there is no tipping, so you can get it fine, medium, broad too. And as far as I know, they have tipping. This one does not, so it's an interesting
Hmm.
pen.
But
But
you
I
still
can
like it.
definitely it's this is a pen that really puts a smile to my face. It's big, it's heavy, but it's not chunky. It just feels like a solid pen. The nib is super smooth. You get that weird mosquito attachment which you can slap on there and then jam in your ink bottle and just squeeze, and then it just squirts itself full of ink, which is just a joy to behold. It's sick how much fun it gives me to just watch the ink fly in there.
Okay,
It
wow.
it holds a lot of ink. I think it's about 2 milliliters or something, so that's not bad at all. And the writing experience is superb. So that is not a cheap pen, but that is a pen that I would say that you pay a lot, but you get a lot for that. So
Ugh, so cruel.
I know I just wanted to get you all worked up there. Sorry.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go and just go buy pens now. So, I mean,
Cool.
when I break the
See you later.
hiatus, I'm just gonna have to shatter the hiatus. It's got to be good. So maybe I'll just buy like 5 pens or something. I don't know.
Pen plosion.
Yeah. Oh, pen
That
pollution. I
doesn't
like
even
that.
make sense, but
It
still
could
okay.
be. Like, I don't know. It could be epic. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah. So
Nice.
yeah.
Okay. So what else do we have on the list? Did you ever pick? Oh yeah, that's a very good point. Did you ever pick your pens based on the nibs? Well, did you?
Um, that is sort of, kind of, yeah. Um, I do that with vintage pens.
Yeah.
I don't know if that really counts because you're kind of limited in your selection anyway. But some people collect vintage pens based on, um, the color or the body type or something. But I don't really care what they look like. I just buy them for the nibs. They could be ugly as heck. I really don't care. So,
Yeah, I see what you mean. I had to think about that. I don't think I've ever bought a modern pen purely for the nib, but I did buy that Waterman 52.5 V, which is I mean, that's not a looker. It's a small black hard rubber pen with a little ring top. It's nothing too fancy, but it does have a flexible nib, and I read that in the description. I knew that the 52s have or can have flexi nibs, so I pretty much bought that for the nib. But apart from vintage, I don't think I ever have. So I agree with you there.
mhm.
I do think it could be interesting um, to look at pens from that perspective. Especially if you don't have a very large collection yet and you want to expand, it's very good to think about. Maybe I want to try out some specialty nib, like an italic or an oblique, or maybe a stub or something like that. And maybe you want to switch around your nib width. Maybe you want to try out, a broad or an extra fine or whatever, based on what you have. I think a lot of people start out with a medium because it's just medium and not really anything fancy. But if you don't really like that or you're not sure, you can always try something else. And that's a good reason to look at some pens because some companies just don't offer italics, for example. So,
Right.
I think it's a very good way to uh, try and expand your collection in a constructive manner and see what type of nibs you actually like.
That is a good point. I did start doing that. I used to only buy medium nibs, and then I switched to fine. I don't know why. And then I realized
No,
I like stubs and flex nibs,
who doesn't?
and now that's all I really want.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah, it's what happened. As I said, I referred to that incident before where I was at the pen show with this German friend. I didn't have a lot of pens then. I was really at the start of my. Maybe I had 10 or 12 or something, started my collection, and he brought a lot, and all of them were broad nibs. And then I asked him why all these, your handwriting isn't that large. He said, no, but you use broad nibs, and if you can't use broad nibs, then you practice until you can. And that was his final answer, because he had something about the smoothness and the shading of an ink, and he was right. And then I thought, well, I'm going to give this a shot, because I would not have bought a broad nib just by myself, because I thought that would be too broad. And I tried it out, and I was immediately sold straight away. It did help that I purchased that Faber-Castell Emotion, which has a super smooth steel nib, but I was just immediately sold. So, I mean, try it out. See what happens. See what you like.
Yeah, I find that I prefer, this is kind of off topic, but I like stubs and flex nibs because ink is the lifeblood of our pens, and if it can't show off an ink, then I'm like, what is the point? So that is why I am now obsessed with them.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I completely see your point. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to ask you this because we added this, and I know what I'm going to see now, but I have to do this anyway. Have you ever picked a pen purely on color?
Yes, I have done this.
I knew you were going to say that.
Nothing terribly expensive. I have a small Safari collection, little one. Some of it was a gift, like gifted, but some of it was not. Here, I'll show you guys. I probably bought like 6 of them myself, and then the rest were like gifted to me. So I have a little collection. There are people with way better collections, obviously, but
larger in any case, yeah.
Yeah. So, but I have definitely done this, and for example, I mean that Pelican M400 that I really, 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 really want. I have an M1000. I don't really need another Pelican. I could just, I could just buy a nib or something, or I could. I really don't need that one, but that color, the white tortoise, just like it just gets me. I just like see it, and it's like a unicorn with rainbows and kittens and ink just draped all over it, and it's just magical. So that's
right. That's it. I'm gonna go. This was very interesting. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah. I have issues.
Oh dear, I wanted to say something, and now unicorns throw me off completely.
Oh, you love unicorns?
I was going to say something, but your unicorn has thrown me off completely.
Yeah.
No, I just don't remember. I'm not going to wait for that. It's an interesting way to do it, and I'm thinking very hard. No, I have never bought a pen solely for the color, although I am eyeing that matte black All-Star, Lamy All-Star. I think that is a nice looking, stealthy, cool pen.
But should you get it with the black nib, right?
Yeah, it should definitely get the black nib. It should be completely all black, tactical pen. And not that I do a whole lot of tactical things, but then it makes you feel, I don't know, tactical. Anyway, okay. The next point on the list. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. Thank heavens. I was not that old. What I wanted to say was nobody really needs more than one pen, I suppose. Maybe 2. You don't really need.
I disagree.
Do you?
Yeah, I do, because you need an extra fine, you need a fine, you need a medium, you need a broad, you need a stub of like 1.1. Maybe, okay, wait, you need a 0.8, a 0.9, a 1.1, a 1.3, a 1.5. A 1.9 is nice, if you want to do like calligraphy. You need a 6.0. You definitely need a variety of flex pens. Like, I'm sorry, no. You need more than 1 or 2 pens.
That was one of the most interesting answers I've heard in a long time, and it was so fluent and it just rolled off your tongue. That was very interesting. And so, pretty much, you could just buy one Lamy Safari and all the nib units, right? Then you would get.
No, because the 1.1, the 1.5, and the 1.9 calligraphy nibs have a hard time. I mean, they, for the most part, can keep up with ink flow, but when you're really pushing it, they cannot. Right. Yeah, so you need a proper pen. So no.
And they don't do a 6mm nib.
No. So
and they don't do a stub.
They don't do a stub, and And sometimes you want a juicy, wet stub, not a stiff nail stub. So no, you cannot just buy 1 or 2 pens. You need many, many. Listen to me, people. You need many pens.
I have the feeling that this particular bit of the show is going to be cut out and shown to spouses all over the world. Where, I mean, literally all over the world, where people are going to look at what they say. Listen there. You see that? There we go. I need another pen. This is brilliant. Thank
Exactly.
you so much for Fountain Pen Geeks all over the world.
I'm an
This has
authority.
made our lives a much better place.
I'm an authority. I know what I'm talking about.
All right. So the next point on the list
Wait,
is.
do you agree? Do you agree?
Do I agree?
Was I convincing?
You were very convincing. I mean, let's face it. People who are listening to the show or watching it are most likely not people who have a single pen and think that is enough. And for me, that is not enough. It doesn't really help that I review them on YouTube, so I would not get very far with just one pen. But in principle, there is a lot of stuff, and yes, there really is a difference. There really is a difference in different brands, different pens. I recently got a question from someone who asked, is there actually a difference between Mont Blanc and Pelican? And for me, yes, there is. I think a lot of people, that's what I told him, I think a lot of people think Mont Blanc is more prestigious. Personally, you can give me an M1000 over a 149 any day of the week. But I still like my 149. Now, these are very expensive pens. I don't want to emphasize that point, but I mean, I have this with less expensive pens too. Safari is different from a Kaweco Sport. Kaweco Student is different from a Kaweco Sport. So it's. I mean, there's a lot of fun you can have experimenting. That sounded very wrong. I'm just going to ask the next question on the list. The next question on the list is, are you completely insane? The answer is, I'm a psychologist. Yes, I am completely insane. Azizah, what about you?
I think it is safe to say that I may or may not be, but most definitely am completely insane. Just saying.
I am not on duty today. This is Saturday, so I'm still a psychologist, but I'm not at work. Even though I'm not a clinical psychologist, I do have had my share of education in that field. I think it is safe to say that you are pretty much what we psychologists refer to as nuts.
Yeah.
So that's all right. That's all right.
Yeah.
Okay. The final point.
Cool. Yeah.
Have you ever regretted a pen purchase?
That is a very interesting question. I've
Well,
never
that's good.
had.
I mean, I think you made it, so that's.
I don't know why I put that in there because I was like I haven't thought about it, but I have never had buyer's remorse about a pen. I have learned that some of the pens I have bought are not pens that I want to keep forever. Like they're not pens that I'm, crazy about. And that's fine because I wouldn't have found that out if I did not try them for extended periods of time. So that's okay with me.
That's an excellent answer. I really had to think about this one.
God, I'm on a roll today. I'm just so good.
You're amazing. We know that. Yes, I have the exact same feeling. There was no pen that I would say, well, this is a piece of excrement that I should have not bought and should have gotten rid of. But there are some pens that I could definitely live without. And in all honesty, most of those are at the lower end of the price spectrum.
Right.
Which I guess is just the way it is.
Most of the time you get what you pay for in most things in life. So.
I think so. Now, I also think that in some of the pen price levels, things get a little bit exaggerated. But there is definitely a sort of sweet spot in price. I'm not exactly sure where that is right now. I have to look into my pens, but where I really like pens, or I think you really get a good value for your money. Let's say the Lamy 2000. I think that's a good example. It's not excessively expensive. It's not super cheap, but that is a pen that really delivers as far as I'm concerned. A piston-filled pen, you get a nice smooth nib. The nib has a little bit of spring. It's not really flexy or anything, but it has a little bit of spring. You can disassemble it completely if you like that sort of stuff. Hamish does. You can clean it, and you can do all kinds of stuff with it. You can maintain bits of it.
I do like Hamish.
I had noticed, and
Same.
there are some. I mean, you cannot. It's not like with the Noodler's pens where you can just get a new seal from the hardware store for Lamy 2000. But in all, I think it's a very good deal, and that's a good price level, I would say.
Hmm. Interesting. Well, I have a question for you from Martin in the chat. This
Ah,
is
Martin.
interesting. Um, Martin, he asked, have you ever gotten a pen because of a filling system or ink capacity?
That is an excellent question. Um, when I started, yes, started collecting, I mean, because then I thought, okay, everyone is talking about piston-filled pens being superior to everything else ever made. I want to see that for myself. Now, I would really have to think hard to come up with the first piston-filled pen. I could have been a Twisby, could have been Lamy 2000. I think it was somewhere along those lines. And So that was definitely something I checked out. Then I wanted to try Preppy for eyedropper conversion. Um, I think so, although right now it's not really a big issue for me, but when I started I wanted to sample different brands, different nib types, and also different filling systems. What about you?
Um, to an extent, yes, but not so much. I'm
That's
more
a
attracted.
clear answer. Thank you, Professor. We really appreciate that.
I'm more I'm more of an eyedropper person, and I don't really beyond that I wouldn't necessarily buy a pen for a particular filling system unless it was
Right.
really interesting. And so I'm trying to think if there's any pens that I really bought because of filling system, but I don't think so. I'd be curious to try a pen, but I wouldn't necessarily buy it. And it's fun to own them if you happen to have one. That's it.
Yes.
But I actually haven't done that per
Right.
se.
Okay.
I'm more of just is it pretty and what kind of nib does it have?
I mean that's a good. The nibs look
I'm just
alright.
really
Yeah.
vain, so you know.
Vanities. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Oh well, what
We-
can you do?
we've talked about pens now.
We have talked about pens. I think we have made this pretty pennerific.
I would certainly say so. I hope other people agree. Shall we talk about a bit of paper?
Yeah, we can make it a bit paperific.
Now, what we need is an introduction for this, because we now have Azizah's paper cut, but we don't really have an introduction.
Yeah, it's gotta be like the sound of a paper slicing through my finger, like and then the sound, like the
And then you
sound of like.
swear, and we just hear beep, and then
Yeah,
it's
exactly,
okay. Okay,
exactly. Yeah.
people, we're going to work on this. We have some good ideas now.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we'll work on that, and maybe we can slice your finger instead.
Yeah. Okay. Hey,
Yes.
what we
So
got going
the
today?
paper cut this week. Well, yesterday I posted a review of the Clairefontaine collection, the 1951 notebook. They're supposed to be like the vintage retro notebooks. Unfortunately, this one is blue. It's just
Why is that unfortunate?
because it also comes in like raspberry, like this color, and lime green, and like a really nice color brown, kind of like this color, Just kidding, I couldn't help it. Um, just other, some people are gonna like this color, but
Blue is not your color.
there's nothing wrong with it. It's just blue. So
That's all right.
yeah, some people will like it. It's got these cute little things. You can like write your name or something. It's got a nice texture. It's kind of grainy, but not in a gross way. The cover is kind of like a thicker cardboard, but not terribly thick. Typical Clairefontaine paper. I mean, it's pretty awesome. There is absolutely no feathering. There is no. This is just my like random scribbling.
That's all right.
I just like randomly write garbage. This is how I test
Yeah,
paper.
that's funny because that's what I do too.
You just randomly write garbage. There's my paper testing. So no feathering. There is, but the most important thing, okay, no feathering. There is No, I didn't get any bleed through. I did like 3 swabs of ink. I used really, really juicy pens, like that music nib, which is uber juicy. Um, Nothing. There's very, very, very minor show through with those pens, so that's pretty awesome. But the most exciting thing, of course, is the sheen. You know, everybody knows I'm crazy about that. So if you go look at the review, you will see I took some really nice, cool close-ups of um, the word geek, and you can see the wicked red sheen on the Sailor Sky High ink.
Right.
Uh, yes, Roland, it is the 90-gram paper. I mean, it's not a unusual notebook. It's just a regular notebook, but it's a nice size. It's not too thick. It does okay. If you break the spine, which it's really easy to do because it's staple bound, it will lie flat, which is really awesome. So I think it's pretty nice, and it's about $6. It's I like the Rhodia Webbies, but I don't like the thick covers for when you just kind of want to toss it around. So it's pretty good. But if you are going to get one, get a cuter color. Just
You know, I was wondering
saying.
about one thing. Um, do you use these in schools? This specific format in well, I don't know. You went to school in Canada, I suppose.
I
Um,
did. I did go to school in Canada.
you did go to school. Well, that's a relief to start with. But because we in primary school we actually get these things, and they're supplied by the school. Not Clairefontaine, obviously. They're much cheaper and much crappier paper. But do you because we actually use those almost exclusively in that exact same size. I was just wondering whether they do that in the U.S. or Canada too.
I don't know about the U.S. In Canada, we had to buy our own school supplies, bring to class. So it basically depended what you bought.
Wow, that's interesting. And
Yeah,
is there a name for is you just call that a notebook?
yeah. Just it'd be notebook of so many pages or certain
Interesting.
size or something. Um, Before I forget, the ruling size is kind of wide. Some people like that, some people don't.
Yeah, that's the
Um,
exact same thing. See, that's the exact ruling we had in my
right.
school.
It's
So
like primary ruling.
yeah.
It it's good sometimes. I like it for flex writing, and I hate it for regular writing because when you write small, it looks ridiculous. But when you're writing, with a big flex pen, it fills the line pretty well. So,
Or if you had
um,
my handwriting, then you could probably get about 3 words in a line or something.
so if you're using a really broad nib, whatever, that's cool too. So
Nice.
yeah, it's a really nice notebook. I really like it. And you know what's really cool is when you write in it, it crinkles a little. Okay, you guys can't
Uh,
hear that, but okay. So I really like it.
I always find these Clairefontaine products to be pretty good stuff for what you pay for them.
Mhm.
Around here, you for one of those Triomphe uh, pads, you pay about half of what you pay for one of the G. Lalo, Verger de France papers. Um, and I think that's an amazing value for the extreme smoothness and nice, high quality paper you get. So it sounds cool.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's interesting. I have one of these lying upstairs and I've never used it yet. I got this as a gift from Chris, who also sent a lot of those ink samples that have gone into the encyclopedia. Still haven't used it. Sorry, Chris. But I will at some point. And now I'm all enthusiastic, so I'm probably gonna
What's
after
wrong
the
with you?
show gonna
You were
run
gonna go upstairs.
upstairs.
You're gonna taste Sir Conway Stewart, and you were going to use that paper.
Yes, and I'll
That's right.
report next week. All right,
That's right. That's weird.
that was the
Yeah.
paper cut,
So
huh?
yeah, but make sure you check out the pictures because you will like the
Mm.
geek picture. Yeah, with the sheen. It's just really.
That
It's
was
just so
nice.
like.
Yeah, that
Oh
was
my
nice.
god. It just makes you drool. I drooled when I took it. Just
Oh, that's good.
moving along.
Moving on. Yes. Um, how about we start we Azizah and I had a chat and we said we should do something new for the show too, a new feature, and that is a feature where we just talk about one pen, not a whole lot, not very long. Just talk about a pen and give our pros and cons of that specific pen. And of course, you are more than welcome to ask for specific pens, but I mean, it's possible that we don't both own it, and then it wouldn't
hmm
really work. So there's I mean, we just have to figure this out. But we thought that we would start with a pen that's quite popular, and that's the Lamy Safari.
And this is cool because if you're in the chat, you can also chime in with what you think too. So
Exactly. Which
because
we
like
like
to, we
hear.
like yeah we like to hear what you think. Well, I do because I pay attention.
Well, I do too, because you will tell me. Okay, now let's talk about some of the pros of the Lamy Safari. What would you say? What's your favorite thing about the Lamy Safari?
Okay, well, my favorite thing, because I'm vain, is the colors.
Well, this is definitely something that comes to play here.
They're pretty. I mean, there's so many colors available. I really wish they would make a purple, like a true purple, because I don't know, they seem to have an obsession with yellowy and greens and stuff, but whatever. I still like the colors.
All
So
right.
that is my number one exciting thing.
And there is the simple fact that you can exchange your nibs really easily.
Well, if you
Just
want to be
slap
all
a bit of tape on.
practical.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm a man, we get practical. Oh, that was offensive. So there's, when you put a bit of tape on your nib, you just slide it off. You buy another nib. I think it's, what, $5 or something. You got a new nib. Extra fine, fine, medium, broad, 1.1, 1.5, 1.9 millimeter italics. They all work, which is nice. It gives you an opportunity to try out a whole lot of nibs, different nib grades for not that much money.
And they've got the black nibs, like the black steel. And I believe they have left-handed nibs in some certain retailers carry left-handed
That's
nibs.
correct. That's correct. I have one of those, and I found absolutely no difference from a normal nib. But maybe I was wrong. I don't know. But that you're right. That is available.
I mean, I don't know. I'm right-handed, and I probably wouldn't tell the difference, but it is available. I mean, if you
Just
need it.
looking, if I have a medium nib and a left-hand nib, I check both of them under a loop. I saw no differences. I don't even think the left-handed nib was an oblique or something. So I don't know what the difference is, but I could be completely off there. So let's not go in too much.
Okay.
Okay. Another positive aspect, you can disassemble them completely if you want to. Your good friend Hamish McNag did a voiceover for a video in which I show how to do that.
Yeah, that was. I think that was his first video, right?
Yeah, because I know it's such a popular pen, so I thought we should try to cover that first in the disassembly line. Which is good if you like that sort of thing. If you like disassembling
Hamish?
pens.
Oh yeah, disassembling pens.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, we know you like Hamish. So that's definitely something to take into account. You don't need any tools or whatever. Okay.
No,
any
that's
cons?
Awesome. There are cons, which I did not know until the first one that I would say, I did not know this until I had a whole bunch of pens and nibs. They kind of have slightly inconsistent nib sizing. So, I mean, I have a couple extra fines that kind of write like fines. And it's not a huge deal because I have some extra fines that actually write like extra fines. But I mean, if you buy an extra fine and you need an extra fine and you end up with a nib that writes like a fine, it's kind of annoying, you know? So
I've heard that very same thing, and I've mainly heard it from at least one person, but I think two or three, who said the same thing, and mainly seemed to have the problem with extra fine. There was one man who used extra fine exclusively. He said this is really annoying because I buy a lot of these extra nibs, and they just some of his, if I remember correctly, were even close to a very fat fine, so almost a skinny medium, which is quite shocking, right? I mean, that's not what you buy, so it's strange that they apparently cannot get that consistent. I wouldn't know, no experience. I don't think I have a Lamy extra fine nib because that would make me vomit. But the idea is indeed that it's kind of weird to do this. Okay. What about that triangular grip section? Do you like that?
I mean, it works for me. I have a very adjustable grip. I don't really hold any of my pens in a very specific way, if that makes sense. I can change my grip. So it doesn't bother me. But I know some people really don't like it. So it could be a con to some people.
Yeah,
so
I
it
agree.
is worth mentioning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then there is something, it is plastic, and it is what I refer to as crackalicious plastic. It's not as crackalicious as a preppy, crack it.
Yeah, I mean, you
it's
could
not
buy
as crackalicious as a preppy, or we know about the issues with Twisby that come up every once in a while that they crack. I personally have not experienced it, but when I look at the barrel of my Safari, I do sometimes think, if this could just break and snap at some point.
Right.
It is plastic. It does happen. Now, if you don't like that, there's always the All Star, right, which is made of aluminum or
Right.
aluminium, depending on
But they
your
don't have
language.
the same warm, sweet, cheery goodness that the Safaris have. But that's okay.
No, but that's I mean that's a very good point. Whenever I pick up my Safari, I always think, oh, this has such a sweet, cheery goodness to it that that would be completely ruined if I were to ever use an All Star satire. But it's I guess it's a more robust pen. So if that's what you're looking for, then you got that, and of course you have the V-Star, which is the clear version. So I think you can have quite some fun with that. I think that would be a pretty nice starter pen. I
I
think
think
you can do that
so.
one.
Yeah, it's decent. And then the only other thing that we didn't have on the list, but I think Hamish mentioned, is that the feed at the tip is pretty thin plastic,
That's correct.
flimsy plastic, as he said.
Flammable
So
plastic, yeah.
yeah,
I know. That's correct. That feed is actually a two-part feed, so you can slide off the top part, and that's really you have a bit of plastic that sort of sticks out that goes into the nib end of the feed, and that is indeed quite thin. So be a little bit careful when you manipulate that, because that will definitely snap off.
I mean, if you break that, your feed is done, right? So
You need a new feed, which is probably just
a
buying a
new
new pen, I
pen.
suppose.
Yeah, yeah,
Although Lamy is pretty cool. I once had a leaky Lamy, and that was sent to them, and I just got a whole new pen. So apparently it's you can try that.
awesome, awesome.
All right, all
Yeah.
right.
So that was
What?
our. That's all I can think of.
Yeah, that was all I could think of too. And give us feedback. If you don't like this feature, let us know. If you do like it, definitely let us know, and let us know if there are any pens that you would
I mean,
like
we
to
just
see
like to
us in.
talk about pens, so yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting to get a sort of encyclopedia going on or something that you can just I don't know. We'll just figure that out as we go along.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
should we cover some news items?
Yeah, I mean, we had some, we had something very interesting this week. Um, let me see here. Franklin Christoph added a fifth color of writing fluid. It was the deep purple. It looks quite nice, and apparently it's water resistant. So it could actually be work friendly because it's not like a ridiculous purple and water resistant. So I think people will like that. Although I'm really curious what it smells like because there are other inks smell interesting.
You're not
Um,
curious what it smells like. You're curious what it tastes like. Let's
no,
be honest.
I just want to smell it. Okay, I'm just curious what it smells like. That's it.
Sure. Well, we'll get you a baggie later.
That's as far as it
Uh,
goes.
anything else?
Um, yes. Sorry. Um,
That's all right.
Ask the Professor. There was season 3, episode 4, and if you have not seen this episode, you need to watch it because um, I would say that we didn't catch the professor off guard with a question, but we he was posed a very interesting question and it was answered in a very interesting manner and you should witness it because it's quite comical. So have you seen it?
I've actually I called him after the show. I just rang him. I saw it, of course, and I just called him. And I said, Professor Danglebury, you were really amazing there. You seemed to be relaxed, and it was just very interesting. And he said, yes, yes, these are his literal words. Well, I was on the jazz, you see. So I mean, apparently he was on the jazz. I don't know what it was,
What
but
does
it
that even
was.
mean?
I don't even know what it means. I never even heard the expression, but that was his expression. He was all cool. He was wearing a T-shirt.
Yes,
It
he was
was
very
all
spiffy
new
that
colors.
day.
It was
Yeah.
spiffy. The spiffy is the very word.
He was very dashing.
So it was different.
I had to resist him really, so
I can imagine. Yeah,
whew.
I found it hard to resist him, and I'm a man, and I'm not really into men. So I mean, that's just saying how awesome he is. Anyway, maybe we should move on. How about that?
Moving on, we had the Conklin Mark Twain Crescent Filler fountain pen in a new finish. It's supposed to be zebra, but somebody pointed out that it kind of looks like a cow, and it does kind of look like a cow, so I'm not really sure about that. But it is a crescent filler, so it's fun.
And it's
Um,
Conklin, it's not Moonclin. Then it would be a whole different. Then it would be really complicated. You're not really sure, but I think, to
I'm
be
so
honest,
disturbed.
I thought it was a cow too. I thought it
Yeah,
was. It's cow.
right, right.
Which is cool, but I mean,
Yeah,
it is what it is.
it's black and white, so if you like black and white pens, that's cool. Um, what else we got? We had the encyclopedia of the
Irish green.
Yeah, thank you. That was
And
my...
oh man, I have to share my stupidity because it was just, I mean, sometimes I marvel at my own stupidity sometimes, and this was just, I have this set up, put the tripod on my desk, have the camera there, and I first recorded something else, some writing sample for an upcoming review. I don't know which one it was, but I was recording that. And then I switched the papers and I grabbed the ink and all the paraphernalia I need for the encyclopedia, which is a lot, by the way, the brush and the knife and all the crap. And so I have all of that there, and then I have this standing, and I just push the camera record button again, and I have my little LCD screen so I can see what I'm doing, and I see what I'm doing, it's good, it's focusing, and everything's right, and I just finish the whole thing pretty much. And then at some point I just get a sort of screensaver in the camera, which is when I was already using the copy and paper, so I was almost done. I thought, screensaver? My camera has a screensaver? It is a relatively new camera, you don't know. So I just check it out, I think, wait a minute, that thing is not recording. So I just had to get rid of that paper and start all over again, which is why it was a bit shorter, because once you practice it's just, it's easier. And sorry, the whole Irish little sort of comes more natural, and it's easier to do that. So that was all just very easy. And then what happened, I found out I had not stopped recording after the first writing sample. So I just kept recording, then I set up all my stuff. I hit the record button again, started to do the encyclopedia, and nothing was being recorded, and I did not notice that because it was just a screen. So the next time, it's really difficult. I have to remember that if it does not say record at the top of the screen, it's not recording. I thought I would just share that with you. I have a bit left because, of course, I hit the recording button, trying to get rid of the screensaver. I just kept going, thinking, well, it's probably going to be 2 video files, that's alright. And I've added that just to make up for the lost time because it was a bit short, and I thought maybe it was sort of alternate take or deleted scenes like on a DVD and stuff. And if you don't like that,
they were pretty funny.
Good. Well, that's good to hear.
Pretty good.
So, just saying. Go ahead.
It was good. It was. I thought it was entertaining, especially when you dropped a big blob of ink and then you just randomly brown benchmarked, and then went, that was pretty hilarious.
Your accents are improving. Good.
So, yes, I'm practicing. Okay, what else we got? Introducing the disassembly line with Hamish.
That's why you're practicing. Now I understand.
Yes. Yes.
Moving on.
So, moving on. So there is that. So if you want to know how to disassemble a pen, you could learn about it there, or you could. Can we submit requests?
Oh, absolutely. I've already done a couple of requests. Just this morning I've recorded the Sailor 1911 Large. Someone asked me about that. That's going to be up at some point. I think I got requests for Twisby, Pilot Metropolitan. Well, I mean, you know what I mean, Pilot Metropolitan. So any request. The only problem is, I mean, if it's a pen that I have to buy just to be able to disassemble it, and I don't really like it, then obviously that's not very likely to happen.
Okay, so if they want it disassembled and you don't have it, they just mail you one.
Yeah, that's no problem. But I mean, you know which pens I have. Just check out my channel, and if you want to see anyone disassemble anything, any one of them disassembled, then just let me know, and I'll gladly do it.
Excellent.
Although, one warning, sometimes it's just not possible. The Omata 360, I have the original model. Very hard. It's possible, but that's very hard. So I'm not likely to do that. So I can turn you down just because it is really complicated, and I don't want to damage the pen.
Okay.
But 9 out of 10 times, it's possible, and I'll gladly do it.
Okay. Excellent. All right, moving on. We got the Conway Stewart Believer Borealis fountain pen, which is pretty, but I'm confused by the name because it's red, and Aurora Borealis is green usually. The Faber-Castell Pure Black Emotion fountain pen.
That's a nice pen.
It is pretty cool.
It's black.
Yeah.
And if that nib is anything as smooth as the regular Emotion I have, then that is a super smooth nib.
I personally like Faber-Castell. I think they make nice pens, so.
Absolutely.
Not that I need more pens. What am I saying? Of course I need more pens. Stupid.
You need more pens.
Yeah.
One's never enough.
Exactly. Then the next pen is very fancy. The Pelikan Fantasia Maki-E fountain pen. It's very decorated. I would be scared.
Yeah.
I'd be scared to use it personally.
And that's the problem with these pens. I mean, they're super nice, but if you would chip them, you would just probably shoot yourself or something. It's
exactly. Imagine you drop it and
Yeah.
just the pain and the terror. I just couldn't do it. And then finally, we had the Clairefontaine Collection 1951 notebook review. So hopefully you will find something entertaining on there. There is entertaining stuff in there, so check it out.
Absolutely.
Do you have anything else that you would like to chime in?
Ding dong.
Right.
Was that chimed in well enough, or?
That was very chimey, very chimey. Anything else, perhaps like pen related or anything?
I got one pen in this week. I had to wait for a long time. That was nobody's fault. It just took a long time from the manufacturer to ship it to the supplier. That is a Kaweco student. I did not think of bringing it here, but the reviews, well, I guess, gonna go up soon. It's a very interesting pen. I think we did a hands-on with that pen at the site, or at least a
Yeah, I think we did,
review.
or something.
It's nice. It's not too big. It's not too small. It's a nicely sized pen. It's a transparent, well, translucent blue, I should say. Very nice to look at. Had a super dry nib, to the extent that it was actually almost not writing. So in the review I've recorded this morning, I do not just show the pen, tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, do writing sample. I also work on the pen and just show you how in a few seconds you can make that into a gusher.
Awesome.
So I hope that's going to be useful for some people. I've done something like that in the past before, but you know.
I love gushy pens.
Gushy, wet, smooth pens. Yeah, so do I for some reason. So that's pretty nice.
That's
Are
awesome.
you're still on hiatus, right?
I am on hiatus, but I did receive a gift from someone who
gift.
will remain anonymous. But if you are watching, thank you very much because this is super awesome. I received a Pilot capless faceted in black, and it's
Wow.
very cool. Yes, I'm pretty excited about this. It's
That's
really
a lot
cool.
of pen.
Yeah, and it came in the cute little box and everything with the little stuff. You know, I know usually you like check your boxes, but I'm not gonna be doing that.
Well,
And
the cardboard ones.
well, that's true. And this cute, super cute Pelican 400 NN black and gold. So,
Nice.
and I believe it is a fine nib. But either way, it's really awesome. So thank you to my secret friend out there. It's really awesome, and I'm really happy.
Those faceted capless pens are really cool. So nice. That's a very
Super exciting.
Cool gift.
Yeah. All right. So shall we wrap up with how people can contact us?
Yes, let's.
I'm gonna make you do it.
Okay, that's all right. No, that's perfectly fine. First of all, thank you so much for being with us. We enjoyed your presence here today. If you want to contact us, you can, of course, find us on the web, fpgeeks.com. You can send us an email, podcast@fpgeeks.com. If there were particular things about the show you did not like, you can send email to seehowmuchwecare@fpgeeks.com. You can call us, 415-685-GEEK. That's 415-685-4335. You can follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/fpgeeks. You can befriend us on Facebook, facebook.com/fpgeeks. We have a forum, fpgeeks.com/forum, and we also have a mailing address. You can send your stuff, letters, really expensive gifts, all kinds of stuff to Fountain Pen Geeks, PO Box 728, Ankeny, Iowa 50021. Please send many, many letters addressed to Azizah to convince her that she should get off that hiatus and actually start buying pens again, because we are all very concerned about her. And I think that's pretty much it.
I need support, so yes.
Yeah, absolutely. You need help.
Thank you. I need help. I know I need something, or just a kick in the butt or something to get me going. I don't know. But thank you so much everyone for participating, and the awesome chat room. You guys are hilarious, and it's been awesome. So we will see you next time.
Yep.
Au revoir.
Bye.
I'm so cultured. Okay, bye.
Oh, snobby.